Canada is currently undergoing an unprecedented governance crisis. The 10 years of Trudeau's government are ending on a bleak note. Loss of control over public finances, rampant inflation, stagnation in our standard of living, destruction of our culture and social cohesion due to mass immigration, rising crime rates, repeated political scandals, systematic intrusions by the federal government in provincial jurisdictions, and erosion of our rights and freedoms. And now, as Canada is weaker than ever politically, socially, and economically, we are facing a potential trade war with our main economic partner and demands from them that challenge our economic development model of the past few decades. Whether we agree with Donald Trump or not, Trump's approach are very important for our future, and we have no choice but to adapt to the situation. Demonizing the president, as some of our media does, or boycotting American products is counterproductive and completely useless reaction that will have no impact in Washington. Here in Beauce, we have always been very close to the Americans. Our economy relies heavily on trade with them. 65% of businesses in Beauce export to the United States, and thousands of jobs depend on it. Every time Trump makes a new announcement about tariffs, all federal political leaders agree to retaliate with our own tariffs. Whether it's Trudeau, Carney, Freeland, Poilievre, Singh, or Blanchette, they all agree that we must retaliate dollar for dollar and engage in a trade war with the United States. This is a suicidal attitude. The American economy is 10 times larger than ours, much less dependent on trade than ours, and much less dependent on our market than we are on theirs. Trade wars are bad for everyone, but they are much worse for a small country with fewer options. We simply cannot win a trade war with the United States. It's very unlikely that Trump will back down. All this will do is provoke a massive economic crisis in our country, a massive one in our country, until we are forced to capitulate. I have said it repeatedly over the past few weeks. We must address Trump's immediate concerns about Canada by redoubling our efforts to control our border, cracking down on drug traffickers, expelling all illegal migrants, and imposing a complete moratorium on immigration to Canada. We must then tell the American administration that we are ready right now to renegotiate the North American Free Trade Agreement and offer a deal they will consider advantageous while also benefiting us. Instead of confrontation, we must try to find common ground and strike a deal with the president. Donald Trump has hinted that what he wants beyond the more immediate issues is a final economic deal with Canada, meaning a renegotiated free trade agreement. Yeah, he said that a couple of times. He also said repeatedly in recent weeks that Canada treat treats American farmers horribly. Close, thank you, horribly. And also because we are closing its markets to American products. His Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, has said the same thing. And his Special Trade Representative, Jamison Greer, also stated a few days ago that he wants to accelerate free trade talks, mentioning that his two priorities will be auto parts and dairy products. I repeat, auto parts and dairy products. We need to stop burying our heads in the sand. Supply management is one of the two most contentious issues for Americans regarding our trade relations with them. And as we've seen, Donald Trump seems determined to take all necessary measures to achieve his goals. My stance in favor of abolishing supply management during the Conservative Party leadership race sparked a huge controversy in Beauce and across the country. It cost me the victory in that race and contributed to my defeat in the 2019 and 2021 elections here. And yet, time has proven me right. Today, I extend my hand to the dairy producers and offer to work together to make this reform in the interest of all. First, in the interest of Canadian families who are forced to pay hundreds of dollars more per year than they should for dairy products because of this system, which also leads to enormous waste. Second, in the interest of dairy producers themselves who are trapped in an inefficient system that prevents them from innovating or exporting their products. Those who claim that supply management is essential to keep dairy farms alive are making up stories. Since the early 1970s, when supply management was introduced, the number of dairy farms in Canada has dropped from about 145,000 to about 10,000 today. More than 90% have disappeared. The exorbitant price of quotas makes it impossible for young farmers to start a dairy farm. Finally, we must abolish supply management for the benefit of the Canadian economy as a whole, which cannot reach its full potential because we cannot export in other countries and because of the interest of this small cartel. They have an exorbitant influence in Ottawa. How can we be credible when we criticize Trump's 25% tariffs while we impose 250% tariffs on American dairy products? We also talk about diversifying our trade to be less dependent on the United States. Did you know that negotiations for a free trade agreement with the United Kingdom stalled last year over the issue of opening our market to English cheeses, on which we also imposed 250% tariffs? This situation is completely absurd. I repeat, because of the supply management, we were not able to have a free trade deal with the United Kingdom. The Canadian supply management system is costly and inefficient. This system does not deserve that we engage in a trade war with the United States to protect it. Today, I stand once again before the people of Beauce to ask them, how many How many exporting businesses in Beauce are you willing to endanger to protect the costly and inefficient supply management system? How many thousands of manufacturing jobs in Beauce do you think we should sacrifice to protect the costly and inefficient supply management system? Do you want a representative in Ottawa who has been the only for almost a decade to address this issue realistically and offer a solution? Someone with experience as a former Minister of Foreign Affairs who will defend the interests of all Beaucerons and Canadians in the House of Commons. Someone who will also fight to ensure that dairy producers are fairly compensated when we reach a deal with Trump. Or do you want, in such critical circumstances for our future, to have as an MP someone who comes directly from the dairy sector, who defends only his own interests and those of the cartel at the expense of the economy of Beauce? I am the best person to represent the Beaucerons during this crisis. The Beaucerons also know that I have been an exemplary and accessible MP, always there for them during the 13 years I represented them in Ottawa. They can not only elect a good MP, but the leader of a national political party who offers original perspectives and solutions and has had significant influence on Canadian political debates in recent years. I was the first national political leader to dare to speak about the negative impacts of mass immigration in 2018. And today, the majority agrees with me. I was the first national political leader to dare to speak about the follies of gender ideology and wokeism. Today, the majority agrees with me. I have offered different perspectives from all other federal leaders in Ottawa on the war in Ukraine, the COVID lockdowns, federal intrusions into provincial jurisdictions, and many other issues. The Beaucerons have never been followers. Today, they have the opportunity to send a different voice to Ottawa. Beauce has always been in my heart, despite my two heartbreaking defeats. It is in Beauce that I grew up. It is where my parents and many friends still live. It is the Beaucerons who know me best, and it is them that I represented for the last 30 years. That is what I'm asking today. I'm asking them again to support me for the next general election in Beauce. Thank you very much.